Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're popping the hood to unravel the unseen mathematical magic that makes your smartphone's GPS, modern map applications, and basically all geographic information systems actually work. We're talking about coordinate reference systems. If you've ever tried to overlay two different maps and wound up with a massive, frustrating misalignment, well, you are absolutely in the right place.
Okay, let's dive into this roadmap so you know exactly how we're going to break down this highly technical topic. We've got 1. Why coordinates need meaning. 2. The anatomy of a CRS. 3. Defining the Earth with datums. 4. Spheres versus flat maps. And 5. Translating between the systems.
Section 1. Why coordinates need meaning. So, what actually happens when you have coordinates but absolutely no context? It's a super common misconception that coordinates, like latitude and longitude, are just standalone universal numbers. But without a framework, a coordinate like 50 degrees north and 4 degrees east is completely meaningless. Are we measuring from a perfect sphere or, our actual bumpy planet? Are we anchoring that point in Europe or globally? Without those answers, those exact same numbers could point to locations hundreds of meters apart. And this brilliantly illustrates the real-world problem. Just look at this highly professional surveyor cat. It's funny, but if you drop lake boundary data recorded in one coordinate framework onto a map built with a totally different one, things just will not line up. Your lake might suddenly, quite literally, sit on top of a mountain or just vanish entirely from the map. The scary part is that downstream operations are silently wrong. Nothing errors out, it just looks wildly incorrect.
Section 2. The anatomy of CRS. Think of a coordinate reference system, or CRS, as the essential translation language that actually gives geographic data its meaning. It's the framework that tells you exactly where a location is by relating abstract 2D coordinates to a verified physical position in the real world. A CRS basically transforms a meaningless pair of numbers into a concrete location that we can all agree on. Every CRS is basically a triple threat, made of 3 interdependent components. First up, you need a datum, which defines the exact shape and size of the Earth model you're using, as well as an anchor point. Second is the coordinate system itself. This defines your axes, like northeast or lat-long, and your units, like degrees or meters. And third, for flat maps, you need a map projection, which is the mathematical model used to flatten that 3D surface onto a piece of paper or a screen. These 3 steps build right on top of each other to create the whole shebang.
Section 3. Defining the Earth. Datums.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that because of gravity and rotation, the Earth isn't a perfect sphere. It's actually irregular. So datums solve this by using mathematical models called ellipsoids, basically slightly squished spheres, to approximate the Earth's real shape. But fitting that ellipsoid to the real world is super tricky. A globally best-fitting ellipsoid gives you a good average for the whole planet, whereas a locally best-fitting ellipsoid is dialed in and much more accurate for a specific region or continent.
Because of this, datums act as starting anchor points for surveys, and you've got to choose the right one for the job. Take the World Geodetic System of 1984, WGS 84. It uses a globally focused ellipsoid in origin, which is absolutely crucial for satellite navigation and global GPS functionality. On the flip side, you have the North American Datum of 1983, or NAD 83, which is a localized datum highly optimized to map North America with precision. They share a similar concept, but if you measure the exact same physical spot using both datums, the coordinates are going to be slightly offset.
Section 4. Spheres versus flat maps. So here's where we hit the grand challenge of cartography, taking a round Earth and putting it on a flat screen. Geographic coordinate systems are 3D spherical models that measure things in degrees of latitude and longitude. But when you want to lay that out flat, you have to apply a projection to create a 2D projected coordinate system. This completely shifts your measurement units from degrees over to linear units, like meters or feet, using a flat grid of northern and eastern coordinates.
But here's the catch. Projecting a 3D surface to a 2D plane invariably introduces mathematical distortion. There's literally no way around it. You're going to distort either shape, area, distance, or direction. Different projections minimize specific distortions depending on what you need. Take the Lambert conformal conic projection developed by Johann Lambert. It projects the Earth onto a cone and unrolls it. It preserves angles beautifully, which makes it absolutely fantastic for aviation where a straight line on the map approximates a great circle flight path. But as a trade-off, it distorts distances, especially the further out you get from its standard parallels.
Section 5. Translating between the systems.
So the crucial point is this. Mismatched coordinate reference systems are a primary source of spatial errors. If you have a map built on the global WGS 84 datum and you try to overlay a pipeline dataset built on the local NAD 83 datum without translating, they aren't going to line up. Your pipeline might show up hundreds of feet away from where it actually is in reality. The data absolutely must be mathematically reprojected into a common, shared framework before you can do any real analysis.
So how do we actually pull that off? Well, it involves some seriously heavy mathematics. Depending on the complexity, the software might use simple geocentric translations or Helmert 7-parameter transformations that handle translation, rotation, and scale. For maximum precision, you step up to Molodensky-Badekas 10-parameter transformations. I know, right? These sound like complex spells from a wizard's spellbook. But thankfully, you don't need to do the math yourself. These act simply as the powerful, invisible translation engines fixing our spatial misalignments.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because thankfully we don't have to manually type out complex mathematical matrices. The industry standardized a brilliant shorthand, EPSG codes. Instead of doing the math, you use a simple numeric code. EPSG 4326 instantly tells your software, hey, use the 3D WGS 84 system. EPSG 3857 triggers Web Mercator for flat web maps, and EPSG 27700 sets up the projected British national grid. These standard codes seamlessly trigger all those complex math translations across completely different software platforms. It's a real game changer.
Which leaves us with a truly fascinating question to ponder. The next time you pull out your phone, open a map app, and see that little blue dot perfectly representing your location on a flat screen, ask yourself, how many unseen geodetic mathematical transformations, ellipsoid models, and map projections did your smartphone just perform in the blink of an eye to figure out exactly where you're standing? It's incredible. The unseen math of the coordinate reference system is constantly working behind the scenes, giving our world its geographic meaning. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the map behind the map.